Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Heaven on Earth. I'm Michael, the Leo Mystic, and this is where I channel the sacred guidance for this astrological week of the 29th. No, it's the 30th of November until the 6th of December. Thank you so much for watching and for hitting that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate that. And also check out my astrological course 101 to learn astrology from scratch. So very soon the digital edition will be online to study from your home and at any time you want, or you can also subscribe to follow along. The dates will be announced soon. Check out the link. So the astrological week of this week, it is about to go really deep. I want to take you on a journey. This is going to be a little bit different than I used to do because I'm going to take you through some history. Not as far. Okay, I want you to know. We're going to talk about the full moon eclipse in Gemini, and we're going to talk about the Neptune direct in its link to truth, beliefs, casting spells, and to being a witch, and to connecting to the field 3D, 5D. So let's first look at Neptune came direct on Saturday the 28th of November. Neptune links spirituality, mysticism, our faith in a higher power. It is source, and therefore in a way it is our connection to the field. Now, the fact that it went retrograde, it started going in its shadow period the 1st of March. This is important. And it goes retrograde right now at that very same point where it was the 1st of March. Remember that date. So now it goes retrograde, it goes direct, so it means it has covered terrain 1, 2, and now it will cover terrain again for a third time. So basically, if you draw a line on a piece of paper, it's just like one line is just like it's clear, but the second time you go over it and then the third time, you can see it more clearly. It's as if you are, with your bike going through the field, and you say, I want to see this field again. Wait a second, I left something there. And then you go back, and then you see the field again, and then you go back again the third time, and then you're like, oh yeah, that tree is over there, and there was that cow, and oh my God, this is beautiful. So you know the terrain better. That's kind of what Neptune did with spirituality, with your convictions, but also with your illusions, because Neptune rules illusions and mist and paradox. Now, this is important because, interestingly, Neptune is linked to the eclipses to the day almost. So Neptune went just direct 2 days, or maybe you could even say 1 day before the full moon eclipse in Gemini. Now, this is important because the last time it went retrograde, when it started going retrograde, is when it was 1 day before the new moon eclipse in Cancer. Now let's go there. So the 1st of March, when Neptune came at the point where it is now going direct again, is where obviously, especially for the world, people started hearing, or they already heard about the pandemic, obviously, and about the virus and COVID-19, but no one had been, or very few people had been in a lockdown. At least for Belgium, 18th of March was when the first lockdown happened. So now you have to think about Neptune and spirituality and illusions. So when Neptune is going retrograde over new period, right, it's kind of like dreamy and full of illusions, and it's like, okay, it's okay, I believe it, whatever. So it's kind of new how we dealt with it spiritually, how we dealt with it in terms of having faith in will it all be all right? You know, what is God doing? What is Source doing? Then it came retrograde at the 20th degree. So it's going to be interesting where, you know, what happens in 2 months when it comes at that 20th degree. We'll see. I don't know. Who knows? But the new moon eclipse in Cancer was 6 months ago. And that was about your emotional nature. That was about taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself. And honestly, when you look at it, Neptune gave you the chance to explore your spirituality, to your connection. And because of this new moon eclipse in Cancer, a new beginning for your emotional security. A new beginning for, you know, how you're taking care of yourself. And did you give yourself that opportunity in that lockdown to look deep within? What do I need to rely upon myself emotionally to trust myself? Myself, no others, myself. So then, now, Neptune goes direct and is going to cover terrain. It has covered from the 1st of March, and it has reflected upon since the 21st of June. So you are now getting the opportunity by God, by Source, the field, to truly look at what the stories are that they're telling you. South Node in Sagittarius, with the Sun there. South Node in Sagittarius is let go of that. Stories, belief systems, religions that they are trying to impose upon you. And the moon, full moon, eclipse in Gemini is about words, opinions, your communication to others, to your close environment, your brothers and your sisters and your neighbors. Watch what neighbors are appearing in your life right now. And this is, in a way, what stories are you telling them? What words are coming out of your mouth? Your brothers, your sisters, your neighbors, your close environment in general. The fact that we have a full moon on the North Node is, the North Node says you need to check your past communication, the words that you're using, and thus, since that is opinions and information processing, because we got we got Mercury in Scorpio. I'm coming to that, but first I need to go to Sun is on Sagittarius, South Node. So that is two illusions, belief illusions. Neptune is squaring the nodes. That's the media telling more and more lies. So what stories do you believe? What words are you telling yourself? And when we then look at right now, the South Node in Sagittarius, the stories that we tell ourselves, what is Jupiter doing? Jupiter is closing in on Saturn. I talked to you about that past week. If you want to learn more about that, check out my previous forecast. But Jupiter-Pluto is linked to Neptune, retrograde cycle, and the eclipses. How crazy it is. It's all in the freaking astrology. So, 1st of March, when Neptune started going retrograde, the South Node was in Capricorn. Okay? So that was the illusions about business and the illusions about the authority in the government. There you had that excuse of, yeah, you know, the government's taking care of us. Where are we giving our power away? Now it is about the stories that they tell ourselves and the new religion that is starting. Because the 1st of March, you know, Jupiter was closing in on Pluto, which is your beliefs, or the belief system that they are telling or that they're spreading, and the power that goes along with it. Jupiter Pluto is pandemics. Always has been in astrology. Jupiter Pluto is the pandemic. Now Jupiter came then back over Pluto, and then went again retrograde farther than Pluto, so it was, had to come back, and there was this Jupiter Pluto conjunction. Exactly, Jupiter Pluto conjunction with the new moon in Cancer. Exact. So it says something about the power that you use in order to persuade others, because Jupiter is like persuasion too, to get people in your power. And it was in Capricorn, or it is in Capricorn, and it happened in Capricorn, like opposing that Cancerian energy. It wasn't direct, it wasn't opposite, but Capricorn and Cancer are opposite each other. So it was far away, your emotional nature, and you look down in yourself far away as possible from that Jupiter-Pluto lies, manipulation, and power. So how are you, and have you been using your power to persuade people into your beliefs? And then, now, Jupiter is closing in on Saturn. So this means that whole new religion that is going to start, and old religions that are closing, 2,000 years of bullshit lies about the God in the sky, and that you have to suffer in order to go to the promised land, and blah blah blah. So now then, here you receive the God's gift of the North Node eclipse, full moon eclipse in Gemini, because Mercury's in Scorpio, and that's deep inner shadow work. The ability to sense, see, feel the lies, the manipulation, the stories of others, intense deep research is what you need to be doing, and what you're gifted with of this past of yours. Many past cycles. 6 months ago, 22nd of May, new moon in Gemini. This all comes along. And that was when Venus started going retrograde. And I think even Mercury was on Venus back then. So it is tied into your relationships and to the beliefs that were being told back then. The people you were bonding with, the words you were pronouncing. So now, this becomes important. What spells are you casting into the field? Because this new moon eclipse in Cancer on the 21st of June was about your emotional nature. Now we all know with this Capricorn energy, this is about transitioning to a third dimension into a fifth dimension. That's what Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in Aquarius is all about. And that's why this closing is happening in Capricorn, a closure about third dimension and time-space. So, but your emotions are how you tap into the field, because that's the emotional nature of attracting a vibration. But with the mind, you tell a story, and you cast a spell, or you judge the world around you, and then you become more matter or less matter, depending on what your belief system is, and how good you can tune into the field, and how biased you are. And that's what I'm saying. Full moon eclipse, that moon, the past, what words are you telling yourself? What beliefs do you have? And you having a whole chance by source with Mercury in Scorpio to do the research and to really feel, sense, and understand and know, shit, this is where I'm holding myself back. This is where I'm, going towards the dark. And this is where I am tempted into a desire nature. My desires to be with the dark, where I make my choices. the demon's voice that tempts me into going into things that I know actually that are not right and that are actually a bit wrong, but who cares, right? Because, oh, it feels so freaking fucking good. So that's when the full moon eclipse in Gemini is about 6 months, tied into this Neptune cycle, because it will, it is like 6 months always, and it's like Neptune is like following along with these eclipse cycles. It's linked to spirituality in your evolution process, and now you're able to judge. That's what I'm saying. You're able to find from a more mature. Do you remember what I said? Neptune went 1, 2, 3. You now are going to cover terrain you've covered 2 times already, and now for the 3rd time. So from a more mature spiritual process, if you've done your inner work, new moon eclipse Cancer, emotional nature, and now you investigate the beliefs and the opinions and the neutrality or biases from a more mature spiritual aspect, I would even suggest, what books were you reading the 1st of March, the 21st of June? Take them again and read through them again to understand that material, and so you're able to, from a more mature standpoint, look at your life around you and look at even the truth of the pandemic that they're spreading, and now you're able to see where the lies are, the manipulation are, or what stories are real or not. This is your discrimination process from a more mature standpoint. And then this is important, that inner work, that inner shadow work, that truly looking deep within and meditating and seeing where it hurts, and what ailments do you have, what things rise from the past, what dreams come up with Neptune square the nodes and going direct again, what people from in your neighborhood are appearing in your life and telling you, reflecting you about what you still believe to be true or not, and especially with Venus and Scorpio, the karmic relationships that are appearing in your life and that are showing you, whoops, this is what I still believe, this is what I still hold on to. Do I, meeting someone from the past and like, oh, I have changed so much. Do I still believe what I believed back then when I was friends with them, for instance? And so Mercury then, the day after, comes into Sagittarius, and it's like, it is opinionated. It's like its weakest point for Mercury. So your beliefs are already like, I know what's true. I know it. So you're linking that truth to a new belief system. And so Jupiter closing in on Saturn is, what are your responsibilities? What are you going to do with that truth right now that you know? 2, because a new religion is forming, but we can tell a different story, is what I'm saying with this full moon eclipse in Gemini on the North Node. What spells are you casting? Whether you believe you can or you can't, you are always right. You have the opportunity to tell a new story. And then at the end of this week, Saturday, we have a Grand Trine in Fire. Oh baby, it's a blessing. That's where you can put things to action, where you have passion, where you have fire, where you're like, yes, on top of the world, full of fire and ego and creation and wow. A blessing in the skies on Saturday. Whatever you need to have some action plan behind and you really want to put in the world, do it on Saturday. Whew. What a beautiful week. What a beautiful gift my angels, my guides gave me to be able to channel this information to you. So thank you so much for watching, and looking forward to next week. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Peace.